In previous lessons, we have been talking about how to see fractions as division. Well, today, I want you to consider this problem. Let's say 4 students have to share 3 rectangular pieces of paper to make a project for an art class. In this class, they're having to make a collage. Each paper is a different color. So they want an equal amount of each color. How could I make sure that each student has an equal amount? Well, first I'm going to draw out my rectangles of paper. Now we also know that we can indicate a whole by saying 1 over 1, because anytime the numerator, the top number, and the denominator, the bottom number, are the same, it equals 1 whole. Now we have our whole pieces of paper, and we want to start dividing them into 4 equal sections. How would we do that? Well, I'm going to take my pen and try to sketch out 4 equal sections. I know it's not perfect, but we'll pretend it is. Now this one goes to student A, this to student B. Student C is going to get an equal share of that piece, as well as student D. Those are my 4 students. I'm going to continue doing this for the last 2 rectangular pieces of paper. Label them student A, B, C, and D. Now remember, the question is asking for an equal part of construction paper for each one. Okay, almost finished. One more line, and there's student A, student B, student C, and student D. Now let's think. What fraction of each of the original strips will each person get? Well, obviously they're not going to get a whole anymore, so we're going to erase these fractions that equal a whole. And we have separated the rectangles into fourths. So we'll put student A gets 1 piece out of 4. Student B will get 1/4. Student C will get 1/4, and student D will get 1/4. And we're going to continue doing this for each strip of paper so that we can see exactly how this works. And remember, anytime you cut corners or think you know it, that's when you'll make a mistake. So just bear with me, and we're going to completely label our diagram. All right, 1/4 and another 1/4 for student D. Now we can plainly see, if we look at 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4 in a vertical line, say student A, he gets 1/4 red, 1/4 blue, 1/4 green, he or she. Then we know also that anytime the numerator is the same, we just add it. So student A will get 3/4 of the paper. Likewise, student B would also get 3/4 of the paper. And student C would get 3/4 of the total amount of paper. And so would student D. Now some people may say, oh, wait a minute, each student got 3/12 of the pieces of strips. But the fraction refers to the parts of a specific whole. In this case, a specific whole piece of paper. So while each person gets 3/12, student A, in this case, will get 3/4 fourths of the whole, student B would get 3/4, student C would get 3/4, and student D would get 3/4. So this is another way to look at fractions as division, and hopefully it helped you to further understand this process. It's really easy, but you have to stop and think before you come up with your answer.